Thank you very much, and hello to a very special place, North Carolina. We love it. We've been making the rounds today. We've done a number of these. I don't know how many people could do them. I don't know. But you love it. You know why? There's like a love. It's a crazy love we have for each other. It's crazy. But I'm thrilled to be back in this great, beautiful place. It's a wonderful place with wonderful people. They really are proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what they are. And I'd like to begin by asking a very, very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? I don't think so. So I've come today with a message of hope for all Americans. With your vote Tuesday, I will end inflation. I will stop the massive invasion of criminals into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. And this is all you really need to know. Is she the worst or what? She's not worst. And you know what? I don't like to say it. Okay. You promise that you're going to be voting on Tuesday, right? If you haven't already voted. Because I'm not supposed to say this. You know, I'm going to be like the fake news. They're saying it's very close. It's really not very close. Based on what's been happening, it's not so close. We're leading in all 7 swing states, as you probably know. And we just left Governor Youngkin, and we're certainly doing well in Virginia. It's not considered a swing state, but it may very well be a swing state. And I just had a little birdie told me that we're leading in New Jersey. What's that all about, huh? We love New Jersey. I always said about New Jersey, I said it's going to happen there. But so remember this. She's the worst vice president in history, and she broke it. She just broke the whole damn thing. But I will fix it, and I'll fix it fast. We're going to do it quickly. America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before. And this election is a choice between whether we'll have think of it, 4 more years of incompetence and failure. Does anybody like that? Because some people like that. Some people like it. You know, it's more interesting to watch. Isn't it more interesting to watch a totally grossly incompetent administration? The other way, it's boring, you know, everything works out well, Mr. Senator. Got a lot of senators, a lot of power here today. Whoa, look at that. A lot of big people. There's a lot of power here tonight. Or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country, right? We think we like that. These are the front row Joes. They've been with me like 400 and something times. Front row Joes. Now you're worried because, you know, I saw them. They were here. I did another one today. They were there, too. These are the great. They got a lot of money, too. I hear they're rich people. I hear they have a lot of cash. The front row Joes. But I was very upset because they were actually sitting in the second row. I said, what the hell happened to you guys? Never. But now you're back where you belong, right? The front row Joes. And we have about 50 of the most beautiful women anywhere in the world. And they're represented by about 20 tonight. And they've seen, I think it's like 251 rallies they've been to. They're beautiful women. They're wealthy women. They live in a place called North Carolina. And you know, we did another one in North Carolina, and I really didn't see them. They had imposters. No, they had some imposters today. They were saying, we're the women. And I'm looking at these women that were like 16, 17 years old. I said, you're not the women. And I was insulted because I come to their state and they weren't there. And I said, well, what the hell? But now I see that they're here. You can't ask them to go to 2 and 1. Because that was in North Carolina today, early. We started early in the morning, and here we are late at night, and here I'm doing the same stuff. But you know, I was a little insulted. I said, where are, we call them the ladies from North Carolina. These are very successful ladies. I have no idea what's happening with their husbands. They're all happily married, but I never see their husbands at all. I'd never see them, but they've been to literally more than 250 rallies, right? So, but I was very upset today because in my first, it was North Carolina. Do you believe this? I go from North Carolina to Virginia and then back to North Carolina. Does that make sense? So now I'm no longer upset because nobody can expect them, as crazy as we all are, nobody can expect them to go to 2 rallies in one day. I think their husbands maybe would leave them for that. That would be the end. That would be the end of it, Mr. Senator. You're a great senator, you are. You are a great senator. The ladies from North Carolina, look at them. Thank you. Thank you. We're proud of you. And you know, it's sad, though, actually, because we've done this now for 9 years. We've had the biggest rallies in history of any country. And every rally's full. You don't have any seats that are empty. You don't have anything. I mean, the one we had today, you missed a beauty. We could have filled that place up 20 times. I mean, that was beautiful. And the Virginia rally, did you hear about the Virginia rally? That was, Glenn Youngkin did a great job, the governor of Virginia, and they had a crowd there that was incredible. And then we came here, and we don't want to be late, but it's very hard when you do these things. It's very hard, and you don't mind a little bit. We weren't very late. We weren't very late. Just a few minutes. Just a few minutes, depending on your definition of when it's going to start. But you know, we've been doing, I was talking to some of the people. It's sort of, you know, in a way it's sad, and in a way it's beautiful. I was talking to them, and I said, you know, this is coming to an end. These rallies are coming to an end. We've been doing them, think of it, for like 9 years. We started a year before, and we've had tremendous success. In 2016, we did phenomenally, right? We went in, they said, they gave us a 3% chance, and sort of like amazing, right? 3%. That means 97% for crooked Hillary and 3% for me. And I was saying, well, I went to Iowa, and I had 48,000 people, and she had about 300 people. And then we went to another one in another state. We had 49,000 people. She had 243 people. And I kept saying, why are we going to lose? Why? Why are we going to lose? And we didn't lose, you know. We ended up winning, and we ended up winning the presidency, right? And that was an exciting night. Remember how it started? It started with a bunch of fake news. Look, there they are. That's a lot of fake news. That's a hell of a lot of fake news. The fakers, I call them now. I'm sort of lightening up. I'm starting to like them, too. I don't know what it would be like to get good publicity. I really don't. They treat me so badly. They are the worst. And yet it works. You know, it could be they treat me good and nobody would come. I don't know. There's something screwy here. But no, they treat us terribly. But I don't care because we keep winning. As long as we keep winning, we don't care. But so what's been amazing is that we've just had this success. But if you remember in 2016, so I started off at 3%. I never even heard of this before, but I guess you know it more as a candidate. But I was given a 3% chance of beating crooked Hillary. And I understand that because, you know, she was a Secretary of State, and she was married to the President of the United States, and she was a smart and is a smart woman. She lies like hell, but not as bad as Kamala. and I mean, she's much smarter than Kamala, but she doesn't lie as much. Hillary's a liar, a real liar, but Kamala is crazy. Kamala actually said, he is not going to frack. He is not going to drill for oil. He's not going to drill. I've been saying drill all my life. I'm saying we're going to drill. No, they made it up. He is not in favor of IVF, fertilization. I am. I'm like the father. I consider myself to be the father of fertilization, remember? We got they got a ruling from an Alabama judge, very conservative judge, probably a good judge, but he gave a very strong ruling. And Katie Britt, the senator from Alabama, called up, sir, you have to help us, you have to help us. I said, explain. She said about what happened with the IVF. The judge said close all the clinics all over Alabama. And she said, everyone is furious. I said, explain it to me. And when she explained it, it took me about 2 minutes to figure it out. And I came out with a very strong statement, totally in favor. We want to help women, and totally in favor. And now, and it worked. And they passed, by the way, they met, the Alabama legislature met the following day and approved everything. I mean, it was amazing, really, when you think. And then, think of it. And so it was 100%. And she said, I'm against IVF. This woman, I've never seen anything like it. 2025, Project 2025. I've never read it. I don't want to read it because that way I can be honest with you. I don't want to read it. Some people got together. I assume they're extremely conservative, and that's okay. Then they came up with a plan, but I told them I don't know about the plan. They had a couple of people that worked for me in the administration, I guess, or something, but they came up with some kind of a plan, and it's on the conservative side, I assume. And they keep talking about Project 2025. And I said, I don't know about it. Everything she says is a lie. It's the most incredible. I can go point after point, when in fact, she's changed 15 policy positions, the most in the history of presidential politics. She wants to take away your guns. She said, no, I'd love you to keep them. I'd love you to keep them. Would anybody like to give up their gun to Kamala right now? No, everything she's changed. There will be no fracking. In my life, I will never approve fracking. I will never approve drilling for oil. Isn't it terrible? This is her. And then what does she do? She says, I'd like fracking very much, because she was getting creamed in the polls. Anyway, she changed 15 policies. There's never been anything like it. And I will tell you, we're winning by so much, because people aren't going to take that. They know where it's coming from. But all of the problems that she's caused tremendous problems for our country. And if you've seen the new numbers that just came out, they are atrocious. This is like we're in a depression, and we're going to talk about it. But every problem facing us can be solved, but now the fate of our nation is really in your hands. This is a very important state, and we have to get this solved. We have to get you out. We're winning by a lot, but you know, you can lose by a little. You know, when you're winning by a lot, you can still lose by a little. And we can't take a chance of losing the great state of North Carolina. We're not going to lose the great state of North Carolina. On Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala that you've had enough, that you can't take it anymore, that she was the worst vice president in the history of our country, that she works for the worst president in history, okay? He makes Jimmy Carter look great. Jimmy Carter's the happiest man. He just turned 100, and he can now go down as a brilliant president by comparison to this. Well, he didn't let 21 million people come into our country from jails, prisons, and everything else, right? But you can just now say, Kamala, you don't get any worse than you. Kamala, I can't stand you, Kamala. Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Out. Get out. Can't stand you, Kamala. Get out. You've destroyed our country. I want to send our prayers to everyone here in North Carolina who is still recovering from Hurricane Helene. It was a bad one. It was a bad one. I was there. I saw the devastation. I was there long before Kamala. Long before. They're still not seeing Kamala. They're not seeing federal government, that I can tell you. The job they've done is terrible. But, you know, they've spent all the money on illegal aliens coming into our country. It's true. As you know firsthand, Kamala's hurricane response was a disgrace and a betrayal of her duty as vice president or whatever the hell she is. Nobody even knows anymore. Where the hell is Biden? What happened to that guy? Where's Biden? Tell me, is this the worst administration in history? Where the hell's Biden? Where's Biden? The ladies from North Carolina, what happened to Biden? What the hell's going on? This is the worst administration in history. Nobody knows who the hell they're supposed to be talking to. The only thing that's good is you have totally confused the enemy. Because President Xi of China is saying, who the hell are we speaking to over there? What's going on with that place? Putin is calling, nobody ever calls me. I'm fighting a war, nobody ever talks to me. We can talk him into not fighting if we had competent people, but they are not competent. No, but think of these guys. They're probably saying, who the hell is running the United States of America? It can't be her. She's a low IQ individual. Now, just yesterday, it was reported that under Kamala, almost 50% of the phone calls to FEMA, it was a disaster. They went unanswered. FEMA was not even answering their calls. They had no money. They couldn't pay their damn phone bill because all the money's gone to the migrants. The migrants coming in from various and sundry prisons and mental institutions, right? North Carolina called out for help, and the phone rang, rang, rang. I had to get you. I had to call. They actually asked me, good people from North Carolina, let me tell you, but they were having, this was the worst water hurricane. They call it a water hurricane. It had more water than, I guess, anything they've ever seen. I know this, I was in Palm Beach, and we were actually hit, if you can believe it, lightly by comparison, but it spread all over the Florida landmass, which is amazing. But think of it, they had they weren't prepared at all, the federal government. You know who was prepared? Franklin Graham and a lot of other people. Thank God. And I gave Franklin, we gave him a lot of money, and others too, $7 million. That's good. And the reason is they do such a good job. I was going to do it myself, and then I see Franklin, the way he works, and I said, you do it. Here's the money. Just do it. But he was great, and the whole group is great. But we had no help from FEMA. FEMA is a disaster. They are missing in action. They have no money. They took all of the money, and they spent it on the migrants. They have no money. What a disgrace. So they have no money for the people of North Carolina that have lost their houses. Many have died. Many are missing. And it's a horrible thing, and they don't have the money. But we're going to be here, hopefully, on January 20th, and you're going to see very good and very quick service. Right? Very quick service. You know, Kamala's putting up migrants in luxury hotels in Manhattan, while Americans who have lost their homes are living in tents and living without tents, too. But you know, one of the most incredible things about what's taken place, and I was not interested in the election from the standpoint of North Carolina with the people. I wanted to have the people solve their problem, help them. But from the election standpoint, I said to my people, I think the most you can probably get is 50% of the vote. They lost their houses, they've lost relatives and husbands and wives. I mean, a lot of people killed. Terrible. And I said to him, that's the worst, and that's 99% of our effort. But just out of curiosity, we have an election going on, a big one. I think the most important election in the history of our country. I said, so just out of curiosity, are they going to be able to vote in North Carolina? They just got hit so hard. And I figured if we got 40 or 50% of the vote, it would be great. I mean, it would be wonderful. It would be nice. And you know what happened? You broke the all-time record for voting. I mean, how the... Think of it. You broke the all-time record thus far. In other words, this far in, and it's not even close. What do you think of that, Mr. Senator Bud? What do you think? That's pretty amazing people, right? No, but think of it. I figured if you got 50%, it would be a miracle. And they beat the records from other times. But we've had just a great time together. We had 2016, then we have 2020, where we did much better, okay? We did much better. We got a lot more votes. We got millions of more votes, but a lot of things happened. A lot of bad things happened. But this time, I will tell you, and I think a lot of it's that you like me, but you like me even better because you saw these grossly incompetent people. It made me much more popular than I was, and maybe more popular than I should be, I don't know. Because we're blowing it away, we're doing, now I don't know, you still have to go and vote. We have to, you know, as they say in football, let's finish it off, right? You gotta get that ball across the end zone. You gotta get it into the end zone, and that's where we are, but we're in great shape to finish off these people, these leftist, crazy people that are destroying our country, and we're not gonna let them destroy it. She destroyed San Francisco. She helped destroy the state of California. We're not going to let her destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. So we got to get out there. And when I'm president, we're going to evict the illegals and we'll take back our properties. You know, you take a look at what they've done. They've actually taken over property. All over our country, they've taken over property. And, you know, we're going to get the housing and the relief and everything else that we need, but we're going to take back our country, okay? And under the Trump administration, the only free service we're going to be given to these illegal alien criminals, and many of them are not criminals, but a tremendous number of criminals are here. The only free aid they're going to get is a free ride back home. And I'm always going to put America first, and we are just 3 days away from the greatest political victory in the history of our country, I guess in the history of the world. But it only happens if you vote. If you don't vote, then bad things could be happening. You'll be very depressed. And we don't want to have depression, right? There's no depression. You know the best way to stop depression? Work your ass off. Work your ass off. You don't have time. You want to work so hard that you don't have time for depression. But I didn't come here looking for your money. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. All I want you to do is get out and vote. Get out and Tuesday. You've a lot. Let's see, out of curiosity, who has voted already? So who's going to be voting on Tuesday? All right, that's good. That's good. I'm actually going to be voting on Tuesday also. So. With your help, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we're going to win North Carolina, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you. So, just to finish it off, because I'm the greatest weaver, you know, we weave. They used to say, oh, he's rambling. No, I'm not rambling. It's like genius, okay? I don't ramble. I'll let you know when I ramble, and then we'll have to talk. No, I cover different territories. It always ends up back in the right location. But if you look at what we've done together, it's, you know, let's see, I'll have 3 tomorrow. On Monday, I'm going to do 4 of these. That's a lot. How many people can do 4 of these in one day? I don't think too many people. And I was going to ask you, thank you. to ask you, you know, it's late. What the hell time is it? It was total trap. I was going to ask you, maybe I'll do a very shortened version, and will everybody be happy with that? I didn't think so. No, we won't do that. We won't do that. But so just to finish off the original thought, though, it's always nice to finish things up, like in life. You got to finish it up properly. But was Rogan good? Did he do a good job, though? That was good, right? Joe Rogan, good man. He's a good man. We had a lot of fun with a lot of different things, but we're going to take over this, and what we've done is, it's sad that it's coming to an end. So tomorrow I'm doing 3 rallies, and on Monday I'm going to do 4 rallies in one day. That's a lot. I mean, my opponent today, like, gave a press conference. Hello. Hello. And then, how about, you know, a couple of days ago, she's going to take a day off, do a press conference that lasts about 3 minutes, because you can't, if you ask her questions, she's going to screw it up, so they wanted to be. And then after that, she took the day off, and then she announced a day off, and then another day off, and I'm saying, you know, you're trying to win the presidency of the United States, and you had, like, at that time, about 14 days left, and she was taking day offs all over the place. And I said, you want to be president of the United States? How the hell do you take a day off? I've gone 62 days now. 62 days doing this thing. No day off. No day off. I don't care. I told the golfers, have fun. Enjoy your golf. I'm not playing. I didn't take any day off. We're working hard because we have to win it. And we have to win it, not for me. We have to win it for the country. We got to take back this craziness. So never in history has there been anything like this. If, for instance, somebody comes down in 4 years and they're going to be the Republican nominee or the Democrat nominee, and they call for a rally, and they'll have 300 or 400 people show up. And it'll usually be in a ballroom, and they'll raise a couple of bucks or something, but you'll have 250. Look, Biden couldn't fill up the 8 circles, right? Remember the 8 circles? They used to ask the fake news media to, please, would you mind standing in a circle? Because they couldn't. But it's like an amazing phenomenon what's taking place. It's never happened before where I don't even ask them. I come out of this very nice airplane. I never say, oh, how many people are there? Have we been able to fill? I never say it. I used to say it at the beginning in 2016, and then I got bored because it was always full. We always had the ladies of North Carolina. Am I right? Am I right? Always full. And they're going to be, you're going to have a nice candidate, whoever that candidate may be, and he's going to come in, and he's going to come here. You have 200, maybe 250 people. This will never happen again. I really believe it. I've been told that by many very sophisticated people. Front row Joes, they probably know. But, and you'll never see the front row Joes either. You know why? Because they don't want to be bored. They don't want to be. That's the end of the front row Joes, but we're going to do something. We're going to have a celebration. Let me just tell you, so I have 3 big ones tomorrow, and then I have 4 big ones on Monday, and then we shut it down. Never to happen again. But, which is sad, but here's the good part. Hopefully we will have achieved our goal. We're going to become president, and we're going to have a different form of rally, a rally for our country. We're going to fix our country. So we're going to have rallies for our country, and it is sad. It's sad because this will never happen again. I don't believe it can ever happen again. It was just amazing, like a confluence. You know what the word confluence? It was a confluence of things that happened, and it became something so special. People, foreign leaders watch our rallies. Can you believe it? I've had the biggest foreign leaders say, you know, at 6 o'clock in the morning, I watch your rallies. I said, it's amazing. The biggest people. But you know what we're going to have, though, because we want to get this done. And then after that, what we're going to have is a different form, probably a different name, not a word rally, but we're going to be even much happier because we're going to set our country into the right path, not the wrong path. If you saw today, it came out, they're close to 90%, you know, the right way, wrong way thing that they do, these crazy people do back there? How about they're close to 90% wrong way? And then she says, no, I'll do the same thing as Joe Biden's been doing, and he's 90% off. He's got nobody's ever been at 90%. One thing I'm very proud of, the press, when I first got started, the fake news back there, very proud of that name. I gave a lot of good names, didn't I, right? But I'm very proud of that name. But the fake news back there, they were at 92% approval rating when we started this journey in 2015. And now they're less than Congress, which is in the low 12s. I'm very proud of them because I've exposed them as being fake. And the only problem with that, and I'm so proud of that term, but the only problem with that is the word fake is not strong enough. They're crooked, like crooked Hillary. They're corrupt. They're actually a lot of corruptness. Not all of them, but about 91%. No, there's some good ones sitting. Oh, whoa, a couple of good ones, actually. I'm sorry, would you go home and tell your wife? I wasn't talking about you. He knows who I'm talking about. No, there are a couple of good ones, but a lot of bad ones. And you know, really, to make America great again, you really need a free and clear and beautiful and fair press. You really do. And we don't have that. Yesterday, it was announced that Kamala's economy, and this is the big thing, because you never want to be involved with something like this if you're president. So just remember, it started before me. Yesterday were like the worst numbers I've ever heard. It was announced that Kamala's economy added only 12,000 jobs last month. You know, usually it's 200,000, 250, 390. I mean, 12,000. That's like Walmart will add 12,000. Not this country. One of the worst, he said it's overstated. You get a lot of funny people in North Carolina. No, they're very. No, I had it at the rally I had, you had one person, two people, they were giving me the greatest lines I've ever heard in North Carolina. I actually asked them to stand up. I was going to take their number because they were great. But that was very good. They're overstated, he said. No, but it's a very serious thing. It's only good for one thing. It's horrible. It may be a depression. It's only good for one thing. You know what the one thing is? If you are running for office against the idiots that cause this problem. If you're running for office, it's very good, right? Other than that, Ted Budd, it's not so good. Other than that, no, if you're running for office, it's good. If you're running for office against them, it's great, actually. But it's the worst report, one of the worst job reports of all time. It is actually. Listen to this. We lost 30,000 private sector jobs in a single month, while 250,000, think of that, people left the workforce. 250,000 people left the workforce because they didn't have jobs. More than 100,000 manufactured jobs have been wiped out since the beginning of the year. 50,000 jobs this month. You know what that is? I mean, an amazing statistic is that 100% of all of the net job gains in the past year, 100% of the gain, all of it, has gone to migrants. 100% of it. And they're taking the jobs from African Americans and Hispanic Americans, and especially the African Americans. And I tell you what, African Americans, if you looked at the numbers, you would never vote for these people. Again, it's a whole big con job. And they're trying to delay it till after the election. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Because if you take a look at so you have African-American jobs, people that are occupying these jobs, and they're going to lose them, and they're losing them at numbers that nobody's ever seen before, and they want to announce them after the election. No, they should announce them now. They know what they are, and it's a terrible thing is happening. They're coming in and they're taking jobs held by black people. They've had those jobs for 10, 15, 20 years. They have a house, they have a little mortgage or something, and their jobs are going to be gone by illegal migrants coming into the country. And you should show those numbers. You should take those numbers and you should announce them before the election, because if you see those numbers, everybody's going to be. And by the way, Hispanic Americans are next. They're being very, very badly and severely hurt. If Kamala wins, you're 3 days away from the start of a 1929-style economic depression. That's what a lot of people think. And a lot of the genius, real brilliant people like Scott Bessent and others, I call them the 184 people. You know what that is, 184 IQ, as opposed to about a 70 IQ for our person that we're fighting on the other side. They have 184 IQ. No, the geniuses on Wall Street, a lot of them, you know what they're saying? The only reason the stock market's doing okay, but it's doing actually good, because everyone thinks that Trump is going to win the presidency. That's the only reason. I can see that. If I win, you're 3 days away from the best jobs, the biggest paychecks, and the brightest economic future that the world has ever seen. Kamala's inflation nightmare has cost the typical American family $30,000 in higher prices, and now she wants to impose the largest tax hike in American history on you, on everybody in this room. More than $3,000 a year. Congratulate. This is the only person ever to run a campaign on the fact that I will raise your taxes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to tell you, I mean, the only thing you can say is maybe they're finally honest about something, but I've been watching politics. Every politician wants to you want to do it. Sometimes you can't, but you want to lower taxes. She's running on a basis that I will raise your taxes. I will take, I got a lot of things for you. I passed the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And included in that is like many things are included, many really good things, but one of them is the estate tax or the death tax. If you have a small farm or a small business, you can give it to your kids. If you like your kids, if you don't bother, don't even listen. No, there are some people that don't. Are there any people here that don't like their kids? Because if you don't, then don't waste your time listening to this. But in that package, I have the estate tax, or the death tax, as some people call it. It's a tough tax. And for farmers and small businesses, you can leave it to your kids without a tax. Isn't that nice? And that's a big deal because, they leave their farm to their children, and then the children get the tax bill, which is humongous, and they go out and they borrow money, and in many, many cases, big percentage, they lose the farm. It gets taken away by the banks, and they've never dealt with banks before. They don't know how to handle banks. There's a way to handle. I do. Who said that? I got it out before he did. I do. I know how to handle banks. But the banks come in and they end up taking the farm and, going smiling all the way to the other bank. But I'll tell you, listen, so they want to end that. They don't want that, and I want that. I think it's great. You love your kids. You leave the farm. They have to go out and borrow a fortune. They have to pay like a 50% tax on the value, and they don't have that money. And so often they lose the farm, they lose the business, they lose whatever it is. And I have a very powerful paragraph in there. You don't have to do that. And they want to take that out. They don't like that. There's a meanness to this group that that a lot of people don't understand. I will massively cut taxes. I'm going to cut taxes for workers and small businesses, and we will have no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. No tax on Social Security benefits for our seniors. Our seniors are going to be happy. You know, our seniors have a, very fixed income, most of them, not all of them. I'm a senior. Can you believe it? I'm a senior. I don't feel like a senior. I feel. And you know what they'll do to me? Tomorrow there'll be headlines in that stupid New York Times. The worst. There'll be a headline. I mean, the Washington Post looks like it's phasing out. That's a good thing for America. But the Times will follow. So inaccurate. So there'll be a headline that I have a conflict of interest because I'm the president. And I said, no tax on Social Security benefits. Donald Trump has a conflict of interest. He only did it to save like $100 a week or something. But we're getting you back a lot of what they have destroyed because inflation has destroyed the seniors and people on a fixed income. And we're getting that back for you by no tax. You deserve that. You deserve it. And to rapidly reduce inflation, I will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We got more liquid gold than Russia, than Saudi. We were in 4th place when I took over, and when I left. Oh, you have to do me a favor. Drop my all-time favorite chart in history. Just drop it. Drop that chart, if you can find it. There it is. I love that chart. I sleep with that chart. I kiss that chart. Without that chart, I wouldn't be here. Can you believe it? I mean, it wasn't there. That wouldn't have helped me in Butler. But that helped me. When I turned, just look at my chart. What the hell was that? No, we wouldn't be here without that chart. Even if the chart were lousy, I'd love that chart. But it's great. That was the lowest point in the history of our country for illegal immigration. And I can tell you, drugs were there and lots of other things. Human trafficking in women. The human trafficking is largely in women. How about this? Their open border policy, it's not even believable. 325,000 children are missing, dead, or sex slaves or slaves. Think of that. If that were a Republican, or if that were me especially, if that took place during my administration, they'd be talking about bringing back the electric chair. They really would. See those people? They don't write about it. 300, think of that. That's like take your biggest stadium and fill it up many times. That's what you're talking about. 325,000 children are missing or in a form of slavery. They're gone, probably will never be seen by their parents again. That's what they're giving us. And nobody even writes. That's a carnage. That's a beyond anything people have ever heard. And they won't even write stories about it. They won't write a story about Afghanistan and that horrible stupidity of Afghanistan. The way they did it, they moved the military out first. They don't want to cover it. Now it's like, we're fighting some pretty bad forces, let me tell you. Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted on their people. There's never been anything like this. She's violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions from all around the world, from Venezuela to the Congo. Oh, the Congo. The Congo is sending a lot of people. They're sending their people in jail. Think of the money they save and the danger of it all. And they're coming into our country. They're coming in through Kamala and her open border stupidity policies. Today, I want to hear directly from a mother whose beautiful child is gone, was killed. Her life has been totally shattered. Please take a look.
Sunday night, I asked her to not stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning to do her summer school. She said, okay. I told her good night and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that that was going to be the last time I saw her.
We're best friends.
Yeah. We're going shaking again.
I woke up to notice she wasn't in her bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, right behind the skate park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cop cars with lights on. I see yellow tape, and immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants. And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We begin with two men we're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her.
Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn.
My daughter is 6 feet in the ground based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn. You know, she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, but just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country.
And you have thousands of cases, all different forms of crime, many against very young girls, 12 years old in that case, Jocelyn. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration of our country begins. And if you look at the polls that are so prevalent, I see so many polls, but almost every poll has inflation as the #1 problem in the economy. But I think that's the #1 problem for our country. We're going to get inflation. We're going to get the economy taken care of. I'm real good at that stuff. We're going to take care of it. It's going to happen fast. We're going to drill. We're going to drill. We're going to do other things too. We're going to get Elon to come in and give us a little advice on cutting the hell out of your expenses. Elon, anybody that can send a rocket ship and land it back like that is going to be very easy to cut expenses. But he wants to. And he, by the way, gave us his total endorsement. You know that. He said if Trump doesn't win, it's virtually the end of the country as we know it. And it is. We're on very thin ice. But when you vote on Tuesday, I want you to remember Jocelyn and Lincoln Riley and Rachel Morin and every American who has been stolen from us by Kamala's ridiculous open border policies. She's not going to change that. The day they got in, they just opened it up. They got a little bit tougher about 2 months ago. They forgot to, however, end the flights flying over the border with thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, dumping them all over our Middle West. The United States is now an occupied country. Can you imagine having to say, we're an occupied country? But it will soon be an occupied country no longer. On November 5th, 2024, it will be Liberation Day in America. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program of criminals in American history. It's going to be the largest deportation of criminals. We're going to get them out of here fast. I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded and conquered, and we will put the vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country. And to expedite the removals of Trende Aragvade. This is a vicious gang, but you have others. You have other very vicious gangs, MS-13. They're savages. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Can you imagine? We have to go back to 1798. That's when they ran a country a little tougher, I guess, to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. We don't want them. And I am hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America. Black voters are furious with Kamala over illegal immigration. It's destroying their communities, and if this continues, there will have been no political power left for them because all of their communities will be majority migrant. That's what's happening. You're going to have majority migrant because the Democrats want to get them votes. They want to get them enlisted to vote. And what about Gavin Newsom in California? I was very happy to see. Did you see his poll numbers went way down today? Did you see that? Gavin Newsom, one of the worst governors in the history of our country. He signed a bill making it illegal for somebody to even ask for voter ID. In other words, if you're with the state, and you want to check somebody, you're not allowed to vote. You're not allowed to say, "Excuse me, ma'am, may I please see your voter ID?" They want to put you in jail if you want to do that. They want to treat you rather harshly. So he's taken it a step further. Why would they not want voter ID? You know why? There's only one reason. Because they want to cheat. There's only one reason. We got to straighten that whole thing out. We will. We will. I will keep American communities for American citizens. We're going to have American people in our communities now. We're not going to let this. Do you know that these gangs have weapons that are above military grade? And that even the police, I mean, it's like very tough, very tough. In Colorado, Aurora, you have the same gang, the Venezuela gang, has taken over apartment complexes. In other words, they're like me, they're in the real estate business. But they do it with guns and they do it with violence, tremendous violence. On top of it all, Kamala says she would not do one thing differently from crooked Joe Biden, which is in itself disqualifying.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United States.
An Afghan national is in custody today after being accused of plotting an election day terrorist attack. The suspect entered the U.S. on a special immigrant visa.
Gut-wrenching new details in the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect, who cops say committed the heinous murder, is a Venezuelan national who crossed the unsecured southern border back in 2022.
2 men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela are charged with capital murder in the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A 5th illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Only 18% say the economy is in excellent or good condition.
US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities saying Train de Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the U.S., has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Were you the last person in the room? Yes.
If you want to end this disaster, you must, on Tuesday, get out and vote. You got to vote. Thank you for everybody that has voted. We appreciate it. So we're pleased to be joined by some great people from your state, largely. A man who's become an incredible senator, highly respected in Washington, D.C. by other senators and everyone else. He's doing a great job. Senator Ted Budd. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. A current congressman who really is something special. I was with him right at the beginning, and now he's running for, as I understand it, Attorney General of your state. And he's going to be fantastic. He has my complete and total endorsement, Dan Bishop. Dan. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Congressman Richard the Warrior Hudson. I call him the Warrior because he is. He's a warrior. Right. And 2 people that are terrific. We backed them in the primary. We backed them now, and they're going to win their races. Congressional candidates Addison McDowell and Mark Harris. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good guys, 2 good guys are going to be great. You heard him speak. RNC Chairman Michael Whatley. He did such a good job here that I said, just run the whole country. I took him out. He was the GOP chair, you know that, here and North Carolina, and we won it. There was no shenanigans. He had 602 lawyers. And I said, that's the guy I want. And now he's got a lot of North Carolinas where he's got to watch, right? But it looks like it's going very well. Thank you very much. Great job you're doing. Thank you. And a spectacular chairman of the GOP, Jason Simmons. Jason, thank you. And the word is that Franklin Graham is here. Where's Franklin? Is he here? Franklin Graham, I'll tell you, he is so good. Whether he's here or not, I don't even care. The guy is great. He works so hard. His father, Billy Graham, the great Billy Graham, is looking down, and he's seeing Franklin, and he is so proud of Franklin. Thank you very much. He's great. And Pam Bondi is here, the Attorney General of Florida for a long time, and she is great. Fantastic woman, a fantastic friend, and woman. And to the best of my knowledge, Pam, Silk is here. Where the hell is Silk? Whoa! Look how beautiful she is. She is beautiful. My wife told me a long time ago now, darling, there's two people on television. They are absolutely amazing. And I said, nobody's amazing. You know, I've sort of seen it all. I've seen it all. Nobody's amazing. And I went over and I looked anyway. I want to be nice, you know, I got to be nice. And I saw these two, and it was amazing. It really was. And they've been with me through thick and thin for 9 years, right? And we lost our beautiful diamond, but we still have our magnificent silk, right? Thank you. Thank you, honey. So just in conclusion, here are the facts on Kamala. She's a radical left Marxist, rated even worse than crazy Bernie Sanders and Pocahontas herself. Pocahontas, you know, Elizabeth Warren, remember? Somebody said, you don't look like an Indian. She said, I am an Indian. My mother told me I had high cheekbones, okay? I think it's actually racist. I think that's actually racist if you want to really get technical. She was being racist when she said that she has high cheekbones. Remember? And then I drove her crazy, and everyone was calling her Pocahontas, and she actually went out for a blood test, and she was so happy. 1,024th is what? 1,000. That means I had more Indian blood in me than she had, and I have none. And she was so happy. Because they said thousands of years ago it may have happened. No, it's terrible when you do that, right? It's terrible when Kamala says that she worked in McDonald's and, you know, she labored over that French fry stove. So the fake news went to McDonald's and they said, no, she never worked here. They don't want to report it. But I bring it up as much as it, because you know why? It's so simple. She's a liar, a real liar, not a good liar, but she's a significant liar. And when you lie about something so simple, she never worked there, but I did a little bit. This place is amazing. Just remember, it's other people saying it, it's not me. I remember when somebody, because you're not allowed to use the word fat. If you use the word fat, it's the end of your political career. So I was in New Hampshire, which, by the way, I'm leading also. It's not a swing state. New Hampshire. And a man stood up in front, and I admonished him. And he said, Chris Christie is a fat pig. And I said, and you can't use the word fat. And I said, sir, please sit down. Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Yes, he is, sir. I said he's not a fat pig. So the press couldn't write about it because I was, you know, there was nothing to write. I was helping Chris Christie. And he is not a fat pig. Do you agree with that, Pam? Don't say it. Kamala destroyed our economy. She was an original creator of defund the police movement. And anybody who wants to defund our great police for even one day or 1 week is not worthy of being the President of the United States. She's not worthy for a lot of other reasons, too. Kamala vowed to abolish ICE. She pledged to confiscate your guns and endorsed a total ban on handgun ownership. She even called for free sex changes for illegal aliens in detention. All, of course, at taxpayer expense. Nobody minds paying the bill, right? But with your vote this November, we are going to fire Kamala, and we are going to save America. We're going to save America. Right? We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your wages. We're gonna do things that you've never seen before. We are gonna cut your prices right down to the bottom. You know what's gonna do it? Energy. You know, energy brought it up, and it's gonna bring it down. We have so much energy. We have so much energy. We're gonna raise your wages and bring thousands and thousands of factories back to America, including back to North Carolina. And you know what we're going to bring back here? Because, you know, I used to come here a lot for your furniture. They had the best furniture in the world, I think. There's never been a replacement to your furniture business. And I used to come, I was building hotels, a lot of hotels. I have had a lot of different careers when you think, but I was doing beautiful hotels. And I'd come here, thank you, Donnie. Thank you. And I'd come to North Carolina and I'd go around to the different furniture, and they were genius. I'd say, could you do something with the handle of that chair? Could you do something? Like what, sir? Ding, 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 ding. It's like a piece of art. Would you like me to put your face on it? I could do that, sir. Ding, ding, ding. And in about 10 seconds, it's better looking than my damn face. No, the talent was unbelievable. Really, it was unbelievable. And they got wiped out by China and others. They just took, I mean, you have still a small fraction of what it is. But when I do my tariffs, because as I told you, it's the most beautiful word outside of love and religion. See, I had to do that, otherwise I'd be in trouble. I had to say that. But it's the most beautiful word in the dictionary, tariff. It will save our country. Only stupid people don't want to use it, or corrupt people also. Do you know China, during my 4 years, paid us hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs and taxes. And they were fine with it. And we'll end up having a good relationship with China, but you know, it was very unfair what was happening. And but we're going to bring your business, your furniture business back. We can do it so easy. Some of those guys that I dealt with are older now. Maybe they don't come back, but it's in the blood, really. It's in the blood. You have the greatest artisans in the world. You know, I went to China and I started buying chairs and things, and I had a lot of problems. I'm serious about it. They were just not made the same way. And I had, like, a guy would sit in a chair, and he's a little bit overweight, like 100 pounds, and he sits in the chair, and the frickin' chair collapses, and I end up getting my ass sued off all the time. That wouldn't happen with the North Carolina chair. How would you like it? I built a gorgeous, brand new hotel overlooking the park. I have beautiful furniture. The guy sits down and he breaks his ass. No, we don't want that. We want to bring it back to North Carolina. You're the best in the world. All right, Ted, you want to do that? We're going to do that. We will build American, we will buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine, which would have never started. The war in Ukraine would have never started if I were president. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East. October 7th would have never happened. And I will prevent World War III as only I can. You're going to end up in a World War III with these idiots that we have running our country. They're idiots. We will crush violence. Do you remember they sent Kamala to negotiate with Russia? Remember that? 3 days before they invaded. They wouldn't have done it with me, and they didn't. I was there for 4 years. They never did do it. No, Vladimir. I would have said, Vladimir, don't do it. I did say that, actually, if you want to know the truth. Vladimir, don't do it, Vladimir. Please don't do it. Don't do it, Vladimir. Don't forget, I'm the one that stopped his pipeline in Europe, the biggest economic development job they ever had. I stopped it. And then this moron came in and he approved it. This moron came in and he approved the Russian pipeline. It's called Nord Stream 2. But you know what he did? He killed the Keystone pipeline. He got them mixed up. The Keystone pipeline was our pipeline. Keystone XL pipeline, it was our pipeline. He killed it, 48,000 jobs in a very important pipeline. So he got it reversed. It was supposed to be, let the Keystone get built. They were starting construction, 48,000 jobs. It was the reverse. He should have killed the Russian pipeline, or let it be killed, because I already killed it. But the Keystone pipeline, he should have, he gets everything mixed up. He wouldn't tell, if you asked him what's the Keystone pipeline, he wouldn't be able to tell you. If I asked him, what does MAGA stand for, Joe? I don't know. You know what it is? Joe, it's Make America Great Again. But you know what they should do? I think in the favor, in order so that we continue to say that we have a great democracy, I think she should go in and give him back the presidency, let him finish out the run. If they can do it once, let him do it again. Because I actually think he'll do just as good. So, and you got to, look, if I don't win this thing after all this talk, I'm in trouble. Will you please go and vote? I mean, I came here. Whatever the hell time it is, who the hell knows? I'm giving you the full bore. You wouldn't let me leave in half an hour. I could have run up here, done it, start screaming, Make America Great Again for 5 or 6 times, and then leave to the cheers of the crowd. I would have been home sleeping right now. I hope to hell that you're going to get your asses out and vote. Did you all vote? Everybody? I figured. I know these guys voted. But we'll crush violent crime and give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. And by the way, people say to you, how are you going to know who these people are? The migrants, let me tell you, your local police are incredible. They know their names. They know their middle initial. They know the serial numbers. They know everything about them. They know more about them than we want to know. They'll work with us. They're dying to do it, too. We will strengthen and modernize our military. We gave so much of it away to Afghanistan. Can you believe that? These idiots, they gave away the best tanks, the best planes. They even gave away night goggles. You know, the Afghans are good fighters, but they don't fight at night. But now they do. They have our night goggles. Brand new night goggles, better than what we have. Ours are older. They have brand new. Can you imagine what they got, Pamela? Can you imagine? They got everything. So embarrassing. And then they had a parade down their boulevard, or whatever the hell you call it. Wasn't the most beautiful boulevard, but it was a boulevard nevertheless, right? And 3 weeks ago, and they had these armor-plated vehicles that cost millions of dollars, armor-plated, 4 and 5 inches of armor, the best in the world. And they showed going down the boulevard, which is basically they were taunting us and mocking us. All that equipment. Look at Uncle Sam back there. Stand up, Uncle Sam. Look at him. Look at this guy. Wow. He's a good-looking Uncle Sam, man. He's got the whole package. Thank you, Uncle Sam. You look great. Wow. Okay, you have a deal. You have a deal. But we'll build a missile defense shield, all made in the USA. We'll rebuild our cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe and clean and beautiful again. Our capital is a mess. People go to the Capitol, they end up getting shot, killed. We're going to clean our capital. We're going to take it back from these people that run it so badly, so horribly. With an unlimited budget, the budget is virtually unlimited, and they run it so badly. We're going to get rid of the graffiti on the beautiful marble. We're going to get, they have beautiful, the most beautiful marble columns. When a dollar was a dollar, they built it, right? Most beautiful buildings you've ever seen. We're going to clean up our capital and make it safe again. We'll teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And we will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools. And we will keep men, of course, out of women's sports. And we will defend religious liberty. I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms, our Second Amendment. Look at the muscles of this guy. Excuse me. Could you stand up? Look at that guy. You in the beautiful white shirt. Would you look at this guy? Holy mackerel. I'm looking at him. I always wanted to look like that. I just didn't want to do the work. You look good. Don't let anyone stop you. You look good. Good to have you, too. After years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country. That's what we're going to do. We're going to defend our borders, and we're going to protect our citizens. We got to put America first. It's time to put America first. And we're going to help other countries, but we got to put America first. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. We will not be invaded. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. They're conquering our country. We will be a free and proud nation. Once again, everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive. And every day will be filled with opportunity and hope, and the American dream will be back. But for that to happen, we must defeat Lion Kamala Harris. And we must stop her radical left agenda with a landslide that is too big to rig. We're going to get too big to rig. In other words, get out and vote. For the past 9 years, we have been fighting against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. Yup, they're there and they're here. With your vote in this election, you can show them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. It belongs to you. It belongs to you. Belongs to all of you. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And 3 days from now, can you believe it, 3 days? We've been waiting for 4 years for this. And if I didn't do so great, I mean, we did much better in the second election than the first. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done this. I could have been on the beach. I could have been lots of places. But I would have had no interest. What we're doing, remember, this is the greatest political movement probably in the history of the world, in all fairness. And this is the movement that's going to bring our country back. And we can do it, and we can do it almost easily. It's going to be a little rough in places. They've taken us to levels that we never thought we'd have to worry about with all these people and, you know, murderers and drug lords and terrorists and all. We didn't have these problems. We didn't have these problems. Now we do. It's a big problem. But we're going to solve those problems, and we're going to solve them fast, and we're going to get back on track. And once we are, we're going to move like you've never seen before. 3 days from now, it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. That's what I believe they're going to be. With your help from now until Election Day, we will restore America's promise, and we will take back the nation that we love. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never, ever back down, and we will never, ever surrender. Together, we will fight, fight, fight. Together, we will win, win, win. November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. God bless you. God bless you, North Carolina. Get out and vote. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back.